What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to another version of Sports Gambling Daily. I got my boy Joe here. He has a brand new YouTube channel. It goes by Live Betting Sports Daily. So, hey, what's going on, Joe?
What's going on there, Big Jared?
Not much. Hey, so Joe is going to start being a regular on my end, and I want you guys definitely to check out his channel. I will definitely leave a link to his channel in the description of this video, and he will also more than likely post this exact same video along with his own exclusive content. Now, Joe is a live betting master. He's also in the Discord, so you definitely got to check him out. He goes by Bombay Joe, and I feel like Joe, I think we should run through some of these games today and see what we can see if we can find any value or any edges. What do you think?
Yeah, sure. We could always do the what I call the pre-game value, and then we could take the live betting value, on my end. So no problem. Let's run through it, brother.
All
I
right. Well,
guess.
so first game we have here, we have Atlanta taking on Pittsburgh. Now, anybody that's watched my video already knows that I have a selection on this particular game. But you got Atlanta coming in at minus 175. That's what they opened at. Pittsburgh plus 157. What do you see in this one?
Well, I think we're gonna have to lay the juice like every homer out there, just laying the wood. No, I'm kidding. No, I mean, if I had to pick a side, to be honest, I do like Atlanta, but again, it's just a little high for the juice that I like to play. If I could get Atlanta with Freed going down in the first inning or second inning with a little bit of maybe even money
Hmm.
or even some plus, but I doubt it, then I'll jump on Atlanta if I believe Atlanta's a side. So that's the important thing that you have to remember about live betting, Jared. That if you like a side from the beginning, is to stick to your conviction.
Sure.
Don't be wishy washy and say, well, I liked Atlanta pregame, but now Pittsburgh looks very good. I'm going to jump on Pittsburgh. No, I mean
Hmm.
just stay on Atlanta, and more than likely, not always, you'll get a better price if Atlanta goes down as a favorite in the beginning.
So,
So
in
that
your opinion, hedging the bet, so to speak, or trying to middle the bet is not really the best scenario.
Uh, no, not necessarily. Like I said, the way I bet in particular is like I
Hmm.
said, I'm not betting this game at all pre because of the juice being so high. Now, if I felt the need to bet it like in a 10-team parlay, like a lot of people do, no, I'm kidding. But I mean, if I had to bet it, then I would bet like half a unit pre-game. Then
Okay.
again, if it goes down, maybe I'll bet it again. But that's the edge I do. Now they might
Okay.
not go down. Atlanta might come out and kick ass. We don't know, and that's what books want you to just kind of get sucked in. If Atlanta starts winning, beating, being the shit out of Pittsburgh, part of my
Right.
language, and then you to jump by Atlanta, which.
Right, right. Now, so Max Freed in this particular game, he's struggled with his curveball lately, and that's his money pitch. Um,
Yeah.
so if I had to pick a side, I would say there's more value on Pittsburgh. I like Stephen Brought. He's coming off one of his best games in the majors. Pittsburgh's at home, so if I had to take a side, which I'm not, but I lean the Pirates in this one. Um,
I
let's
can
go
see
ahead.
that. I can
Let's
see
go
that.
ahead and go to the next one. We got obviously a full slate of games here. So this is a game I find very interesting. We got the White Sox taking on the Natties. 7 o'clock first pitch in the East Coast.
Yep.
What you think? What you got on this one?
Well, I got to ride with that 250 or 270 favorite all the time. You know that. I just got to lay it down blind. No, I'm kidding. Again, see, this is where, again, like they want you to just lay all this wood, which is good. I mean, if you have endless amount of cash and just want to lay 250, 300 on a bet,
Right,
go for
right.
it. I mean, but again, on a pure value, on a pure dog, I mean, the White Sox look gorgeous to me. I
They
mean,
look
not saying I'm
beautiful.
going to run to the window and bet it or just punch up my online ticket and say I'm taking White, but I am going to look at them. Now,
Sure.
again, going back to the theory, if you like the White Sox from the beginning and they get down, let's say by one run or two, you might be getting plus 600 in the game.
That's
Now,
a good point.
again, that creates, like I said, a little more value if you are that value better and like those big dogs.
Hmm.
Now, like I said, Washington come in and kick the ass out of White Sox, and they're pretty much done. But again, that's the advantage of live betting. You're getting a little bit more money, or a lot more plus for taking that bigger dog.
Right.
So that's what I think.
I agree with you. And also, when you look at the matchup, you got Steven Strasburg, which is a great pitcher, but the 12 times that he's pitched this season,
Yeah.
the Nationals are 6-6. So laying what minus 250 or 275 or whatever it's at the moment. like is just too big of a risk, obviously, and that's where the inherent value comes in on the White Sox because once if the White Sox can get to the Nationals pin, man, I mean, getting plus 200 and 225 is such a great value. This is a game that I'm considering taking later on. When Rodrigo Lopez pitches, the White Sox are 6-7 in his starts. So I think that there's definitely value just inherent in the line itself. The White Sox have actually played pretty well as of late. So I definitely lean White Sox, especially at that beautiful, juicy underdog money.
Yeah, I like I said, I agree. Let's like I said, one of those games that we just kind of circle back and come back to. No problem. We'll put that down as the one of the possible big dogs that we like today. So
Right.
I agree with you on that.
It's like you and I have talked before privately. Underdogs have to win, even though the favorites are winning at an astounding rate this year. But there's still a handful of dogs every single day. So this is a good situation considering the Nationals bullpen has been well documented in being awful. All right,
Yeah.
moving on to the Yankees versus the Blue Jays. You got Toronto at home, coming in at a 21-38 record. Tanaka taking on Clayton Richard. What you got, man?
Well, here we go again. Back to what I was talking about earlier. I guess in our early conversation, the one that's early private. I guess.
Yeah.
The Yankees, again, are coming off that big series with the Red Sox. It's an emotional series. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, it's a kind of I guess, old wives' tale, you want to call it, in betting that you always fade the Yankees and Sox after their series. Like it's, kind of a known thing.
That
So
makes
again,
sense.
here we go back to again, if you like the dog, you go with Toronto. Now, again, I'm not running out to go bet Toronto, but again, it's another little place I like if Toronto goes down in
Mm-hmm.
early innings, as some plus money. So I definitely have some value there with the Toronto there. Uh, that's what I think on that one.
Yeah, the current line for Toronto at 5 dimes is plus 177 at home, and you know Richards is a lefty here, so I mean, could there be value? I mean, it's hard for me to take the Jays ever, but if what you're saying is, like if what you're saying is, I mean, it holds some weight. Like they just came off an emotional weekend versus Boston, where they won the last game on Sunday.
Sure.
Let's see here. So Richard, he faces the Yankees for the second time in his career, and it's the first in more than a decade. Believe it or not, the last time Richards faced the Yankees is 2008.
Wow.
That's crazy. Um, yeah. So
Yeah, again, just to add a little bit, if you, like I said, if you really, really want to bet a dog, this might be one of the dogs that you consider in the day. Like I said, if you're one of those bettors that we have in Discord that love to bet 10 team parlays or 15 team parlays, hey, throw a dog in there. I mean, all favorites are not going to win.
mhm.
I mean, I can't tell you how many times, including last night, there was only 4 games, and guess what people did? They bet all 4 favorites, and
Yep.
guess what happened? Philly came in and screwed the pooch on everybody.
Yep.
So
And
there you go.
Tanaka got touched the last time out versus the Padres, but before that, this is his 18th time taking on the Blue Jays this year. 11-4 record in Tanaka's career versus the Blue Jays at a pretty good 2.69 ERA in his career versus the Blue Jays. So it's pretty solid from Tanaka. But I agree with you. It's easy to take. I can see where it's a good idea to take the opposing team, to fade the Yankees
Yes.
and fade the Red Sox after a series like that.
Yeah.
All right, next one up, Twins versus Indians. You got Smelter taking it on Justin Bieber. No,
Well,
just not Justin Bieber. We got
Justin, don't call me Shane.
Shane Bieber.
It goes usually Shane. Don't call me Justin Bieber.
Yeah.
That's what he goes by. But yeah, I hear you. One of my favorite games on the board, I guess, of being possible shenanigans, I like to say. I mean, what this line came out, Minnesota getting points.
Mhm.
I mean, as well as they're playing.
It's crazy.
You
They
know,
got 40 wins on the year, and they are running away with the Central.
Yeah. So again, I go back to it, and we were talking about this again on our earlier conversation. Is like, where do you go with this game? I mean, it screams to go to Minnesota if you're just ordinary Joe running up to the window. But
Mhm.
again, we're trying to avoid games that, or at least get a better sense of like, okay, where does the book tell me to go on this? Where do they
Right.
want me to go? And in my opinion, yeah, I mean, it just seems a little odd that that Minnesota is that heavy, I guess, of a dog. I mean, what do you think?
Yeah, Devin Smeltzer, he pitched pretty good in his debut versus the Brewers yesterday, or in his last time out. But I mean, the Twins' bats have been so hot. I don't understand how, even though you got Bieber on the mound, Cleveland has not played well lately. I don't see how they warrant a minus 140 open. I agree. This game feels tricky. This game feels like a trap. So that being said, because the Twins, they hit righties good, they hit lefties good. The Twins freaking hit everybody good. I mean,
Yep.
they're one of the best teams, the most dominant teams right now.
Yep.
Like in the beginning of the season, I didn't think the Twins are for real. Every single day,
Mhm.
they're starting to get me to change my mind.
So a big prediction? Are you predicting them to win the
Um,
Central? Is that what are you going to go on a
yeah,
limb here and say they're winning the Central? I mean, we could put it down for the record because I'm writing our predictions down because
okay.
again, we could say just like we predicted that the Dodgers are going to win the World Series. Dodgers, right? I mean,
I don't know about that. But to be honest with you, who could catch them at this point? Like,
yeah,
I don't see any team really stepping up. Obviously, Detroit's not going to do it, and
yeah.
Cleveland, I don't see it either, guys. So,
Well,
um,
a big tell is going to be just to finish up on that point with that series or with the division, excuse me, is that once the deadline last night was a big night as far as the MLB draft. So I don't know if you watched that. It was very interesting actually, but not a lot of people didn't even care about it. When we get closer to the actual deadline, if you see Cleveland dismantling their team, so to speak, or getting rid of some key pieces, then you know they've kind of thrown the towel. So that's
right.
why these coming up weeks to the trade deadline are going to be so telling. So just to add to that point, Minnesota for the win. Go ahead.
Yeah, I
Or the
agree.
division.
Yeah, the division. But in this game, usually when something doesn't feel right, I always go against it. So it makes sense. Like it just makes sense to bet the Twins. So if I had to bet a game here, which I'm not going to bet this game, I would go with the Indians just because I like to go against what I think is a trap. So,
Okay. So we'll note, duly noted. Okay, great. So, so next game, go ahead.
all right, next game. Let me pull it up. We got the
Should be Tampa.
Giants. I got the Giants
Oh,
versus the
Giants.
Mets.
Well, okay, okay. So we got we again another one. I guess we talked about a lot of games this morning. It feels like we
Mhm.
just talked about a couple, but this is the one where I'm debating, and I'm debating really hard to do a pregame, which is saying a lot for me because I don't do a lot of pregame bets. Is maybe doing a little half unit pregame bet on the Giants as a dog. But again, I'm not completely sold yet. One of the main reasons is, like I said, I don't like Syndergaard. He's not looked good this year
He's awful this year.
at all. I mean, there's just obviously there's something wrong with him and Degrom. So that New York staff is a little shaky. Then you got
Hmm.
Diaz coming in and getting rocked last week by my beautiful Dodgers in the ninth inning. I mean that whole thing, that whole team is imploding. I think Mickey should be fired pretty soon, in my opinion. I mean, if anything, but I don't know. What do you think?
Yeah, yeah. Bumgarner. I mean, it's it's hard for me to take either of these teams. I mean, they're both awful in my opinion. They're both inconsistent. I guess is the biggest thing. The Mets
Yeah,
bullpen is trash. Noah Syndergaard, and you can tell that his signature pitch is the slider, that hard
yeah,
slider, and he's not even throwing him anymore.
yeah,
The last timeout versus the Dodgers, he only threw 11 sliders in that
yeah,
game. He doesn't have confidence. You can tell he's not the Noah Syndergaard. He's not Thor anymore. Let's put it
yeah.
that way. So,
Well,
Thor is that name is deserving for something much better than Noah Syndergaard. If I had to choose this one, shit, I maybe would go with the Giants here.
great.
With the lefty matchup, Madison Bumgarner, he's not the pitcher he used to be, but he does have a 6-0 record with a 1.69 ERA versus his the Mets in 7 career starts. So I would probably lean Madison Bumgarner and the Giants in this one.
Okay, great. And duly noted, Giants and as a dog. So there's we got our possible what third dog. Okay, great. Well, we'll
Mm-hmm.
go over them really quick at the end. So next game, go ahead.
Let's see. We got the Tampa Bay Rays taking on the Detroit Tigers. Now, this is also one of the games that I had in my video previously today. You got Blake Snell versus Ryan Carpenter. Um, you got a really good pitcher versus somebody that has Ryan Carpenter that has not pitched well in the beginning, but now he's starting to come around a little bit.
Sure.
So.
And are you? You said you're. I mean, not to kind of spoil the video, I guess, for people that haven't watched it. Spoiler alert! If you guys haven't watched this video, so you're going with Tampa Bay and the under, correct? If that's what
that is correct.
Okay.
Right now, if I remember correctly, the under is sitting at 8.5.
Yes, it
A
is.
lot of money is coming in on the over, so therefore it tells me that this line will probably get bumped up to 9 before game.
And just a little note. Isn't that funny that like we said prior to this matchup that Snell was looking bad? I mean, so is this a reflection on people not having confidence in Snell and the line being, because usually Snell's performances are pretty damn on spot, and his lines are like 7.5, 6.5. I mean, it's just crazy. So now 8.5. So I mean, is that could be a, you know what? I'm going to fully endorse that. So that's going to be a thing. I agree with you on that. Under 8.5. Put me down for that one, Jared.
Yeah. Snell versus Kansas City, he gave up 7 runs back on May 1st. But since then he's not allowed more than 2 in the past 5 starts. So I mean, he is literally locked in, and I don't know if anybody's paying attention to it. Maybe people are paying attention to the Tampa Bay bats, and then Detroit. We all know Detroit. Yeah, they put up a couple runs versus the Braves, but I don't see where the runs are really going to come in for Detroit. So that's kind of where I'm leaning there. Maybe everybody's thinking the over because Detroit. Maybe they think that Tampa Bay's just going to rock Detroit and beat them 10-0 or something. I don't know, but I think I think eventually this total will be at 9, and I think there's a lot of value there.
And I agree. And don't be surprised if it's Detroit keeps it close. I'll be maybe look at them to play them a little live, in game. So for some value, and not necessarily to win, but if they go down, maybe a plus 2.5. That's also a strategy. If a team gets down, they'll usually give you about 2.5, 1.5 points on the run line. Jump on that, because I don't see Tampa Bay blowing them out, but we'll see. Again, under 8.5 is fully endorsed. Go ahead.
All right, Marlins versus the Brewers. This game's in Miller Park, 7:40 Eastern Time start. You got Pablo Lopez taking on Chase Anderson. What you got in this one, man?
On this one, another, I guess if you want to call it tricky, because now the perceivable dog here, Miami, is now playing good ball. So now they're becoming a trendy dog. So for me, I tend to get away from the trendy dogs. I mean, I like them when they were playing crappy ball at the beginning, and then, you were getting some good value. Not saying that they have a chance, but I mean, I'm not running to go bet Chase Anderson, with Milwaukee. I mean, it's the juice is very high. I mean, so it's not a favorite game on the board for me, but I mean, we'll see. What do you have on that?
Well, I agree completely. They are the trendy dog. Pablo Lopez in 11 starts with Miami is 5-6 as a team. That's not his record, but 5-6. And where Chase Anderson, he's pitched 7 times this year, and Milwaukee as a team is 3-4. So again, so there's not a big discrepancy there. So why not take the Miami's been playing well. So, and I guess maybe they're playing well because everybody thought how bad they sucked before, but they've run off quite a few wins lately. So, I mean, but I guess in Milwaukee's own right, they have 2. So, I think the price here is pretty solid for Miami. I lean Miami in this game. It's not an official bet for me just yet, but I definitely lean Miami in this one.
Well, that's another dog that we find a little bit of value, so that's great. So we got a couple dogs. Okay.
Another thing to note is Pablo Lopez came off a really good game versus the Giants last time out. He gave up 1 run. His ERA is 1.84 on the road, and his which I think is pretty dang good. So, no, I'm sorry. His ERA is actually really bad on the road. It says it's 8.26. At home, his ERA is at 1.84. So maybe there's something there. You got to watch out. He's not performing very well on the road.
Yeah.
So
that could be. And usually this is kind of my, I guess, unofficial or not unofficial way of looking at when pitchers usually come off a great start when they're not supposed to have a great start. I usually tend to fade them the next, because again, it's such a great start that wasn't being expected. So, but again, that's just a note on when I look at games. It's not always saying, "Oh man, this guy's gonna have he's had a great start. He's gonna have another great start." If
Right.
anything, I tend to go, he might come out flat now.
Sure.
So that's the way I look at the handicapping on that side. But
That makes sense.
what the so
So,
you're
oh, go ahead.
no, so you're gonna be making Miami an official play or not? Or I'm gonna
No, it's just a lean right now.
lean
So,
up. All right, we'll note that.
yeah.
Okay. All righty.
What about you? What was your play on that one?
I'm like I said, I am leaning Miami. Pregame again. One of these other pregame bets I might take just because again the line is just as we say too juicy. We got some plus money there, but
Right.
again, if they do get down first inning, second inning, the Brewers put on some runs, especially at the Brewer Park. I'll probably jump on Miami on some plus money.
Okay.
So that's kind of where I'm leaning to, but definitely.
All right. Next up, we got the Rockies, the Red Hot Rockies
Wow.
versus uh, the Cubs, which just came off a beating of the Angels yesterday. So you got Jeff Hoffman taking on Kyle Hendricks. You got to lean either way on this one.
Uh, you know what? I saw that game all day yesterday. As a matter of fact, I was in chat. We were betting it
Mm-hmm.
live. We made some good money of the people that were on the chat because as you know, the Cubs came in and just beat them like a stepchild.
I know.
Uh, and what the funny part was that a lot of people were leaning on saying, "Oh, they're not going to score any runs. Going to be little scoring." Hence, a lot of people took the under as
Mm-hmm.
yourself, which was good play.
Yeah.
As a pregame, but the line was just too fishy live. It kept going down and down and down. And that's why I tell people in chat, hey, when the line goes down that fast and it
Mm-hmm.
doesn't correlate to the total, jump on the over. And sure enough, people that were in chat, Johnny Appleseed was in there with me, Dylan. I mean, a bunch of people were in there. They took the 3.5, 4.5, and 5.5. We cashed it all. So it was a
Wow.
good
So the over got down to 3.5 in that
three
game.
and a half. I have, yeah. Excuse me.
Good Lord.
Yeah, I mean, and exactly in the sixth inning because I keep track of all the games I follow that I'm betting pregame or live, and I make notes when the line goes down to I guess a level where it's like screaming to take the over. And
Right.
sure
Right.
enough, in the sixth inning at 3.5. I mean, of
Yeah.
course, it was 1-0 at that point, but you got to hammer it.
Yeah, and they scored ended up scoring 6 runs in that inning. So
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
man, my under looked amazing. I had the pregame under was 9. It was looking good. I was like, oh man, I got this thing. And then I was like, okay, cool. They scored some runs in the 6th. I'm like, that's cool. I know you guys were hitting your overs in that inning, but I was
Yeah.
like, okay, now hold on. Like, why do we have to score 6 and then they end up scoring 2 more? But at least I pushed. I didn't lose that game, so at least there's that. Even though it felt like it was a good win up until that point.
So
So
yeah, a non-loss is good. It's better to have a push than a loss. So I
sure,
agree
sure.
on that. I agree on that one.
So in this game, you got Kyle Hendricks. He's pretty good at home. I think I would lean the Cubbies in this spot, even though it's really hard to fade that 8-game winning streak from the Rockies. So I lean the Cubs, but I'm not actually gonna bet this game.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. It's for me, it's Cubs or no or pass. But again, I'm not going to run out and lay the minus 200, which probably by game time, I'll probably be closer to 210 if I could, know my Cubby fans going out there just betting the Cubs. So I am definitely leaning Cubs, but not betting it right now.
So next up, we got the game of the year:
Oh, the year! Wow. Okay.
Orioles versus the Rangers. Orioles versus Rangers, game of the year. Dylan Bundy taking on Drew Smiley. So
I mean, I mean, some of these matchups you got to wonder. Like, I know they do them pre-season, but like, I mean, once they start getting into the meat of the season, I mean, these matchups just become like horrible. Like, I mean, the only people who are going to be watching this probably is people that are either fans of Baltimore or Texas. Dirty Bird, shout out to you in chat. He's a Baltimore fan, or people that have money on the game.
yeah, and that's probably where the majority of the views are going to come from is people betting this over under or one of the sides.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I just like I said, I digress to say that I just cannot back any of these teams. I mean, it's just like I said, picking two shit teams. Part of my language. What are you going to
Yeah,
take?
yeah. I mean, if I had to, I'd probably take Texas here. They've been on a roll lately, but Baltimore, they've screwed me over so much this year that if I take Texas, then I'm sure Baltimore will win. So,
Right.
but I lean Texas, not betting it.
Okay, great. Yeah, I agree. Like I said, it's just too tough of a matchup, two shit teams. But I agree on that Texas lean.
All right,
Okay.
next up, Red Sox versus the Royals. You got
Okay. Well,
Rodriguez taking on Sparkman.
yeah, we touched about this in the Yankee game. Is that again? I'm going back to that same theory that I have. Is after an emotional series with the Yankees Boston series, I tend to either fade Boston and New York, or just don't bet. But I don't go out and run and bet Boston today.
Right.
You know
Yeah,
that's like I said.
Boston opened up at minus 185, I believe. I mean, I think that's a little overvalued for them in this spot. Now Rodriguez, when he's pitched, he's the Red Sox are 8-3, so that's something to think about there. But I agree. I think that the value here is on Kansas City, maybe on the run line. Last I checked, you can get Kansas City plus 1.5 at minus 105. So that might be something I look at going forward.
Yep. And again, just a little note. I'm looking here at my notes. Just for all the people out there, make sure to check the lineups. That's an important thing, especially with these teams that are high profile, like the Dodgers, Yankees. If
Mm-hmm.
any players, I mean, well, Yankees, I guess doesn't matter. They just seem to injure everybody and have freaking farm system that just brings in studs. It's crazy.
It doesn't quit over there in New York. It's crazy.
I mean, it's like what are these players that are going to come back like Didi? I was reading an article saying that why even bring Stanton back? They don't need him. I mean,
I agree. Trade Stanton, trade Judge, trade Didi Gregorius.
Wait. Let's not get crazy. Not get carried away.
Trade them all. Get some
I,
pitching, and then but it doesn't matter. Y'all gonna lose. Anybody that's a New York fan already knows you're gonna lose the Astros anyway, so it doesn't even matter.
I do just thank the Lord every day that I'm glad that the Yankees are on the side of the American League, because the Astros are going to have to deal with them. The Dodgers will just get the remnants of who's left in that AL. But I mean, I do.
You guys have to worry about Philly. Philly's going to make a run eventually.
Well, we'll get back to that one. But yeah, okay. We'll see. Again, I'm going to go out on a limb here and say Dodgers to win the whole thing. But again, that's just being a homer. So where do we go? Where do we go on this game? Where are we going?
So me personally, I'm leaning probably Kansas City on the run line, but it's not an official play yet. I only have 2 official plays as of the moment, and if I do add anything, then I will definitely let everybody know in the Discord and also on my YouTube comments section. So what are you leaning on this one?
Again, we just go back to the same thing we talked about. I'm not going to go out and run and lay a big, minus big favorite. I'm just gonna, like I said, to me, it's just a stay off or take the dog. So to me, it's no interest. Like I said, when you have a slate of 15 games, and that's why I tell people on chat, you don't have to go run out and bet every game. But again, I understand people want to bet every game or want to put a 10-team parlay or whatever. I mean, but again, sometimes the best bet is no bet, in my opinion.
Right.
But that's just the way I look at things. So like I said, to me, it's either the dog or no bet.
Next up, we got Reds versus the Cardinals. We got Luis Castillo versus Genesis Cabrera. Now, Cabrera.
Did you see Luis Castillo or Castillo? I mean,
how do you pronounce? I'm just a country boy down here in Texas. So what is it? It's Castillo.
Hey, but you're in Texas, so you have a lot of Hispanics out there. You should be bilingual by now, right? I mean,
you would think so, but I guess I'm just stubborn.
No.
I can't roll my R's, and I don't know. I'm not very good at any of the pronunciation. So how is it pronounced then, Joe?
It's just Castillo, with some accent there, Castillo. So
Castillo,
not Castile like a castle, but anyways, we could go on forever. But Castillo, yes, I mean, I like the kid, man. I just he's just so underrated. I mean, it's amazing how some of these people still out there are giving so much, I guess, credit to these pitchers like Snell, DeGrom, these big name pitchers, but yet these pitchers like Castillo go under the radar. I mean, now obviously he's on the radar this year, but great pitcher. I love him.
He's on the Reds. He has been touched up his last 2 starts, so there's something to think about there. What's the line for this game? Do you have it in front of you?
Let me see. No, I don't have it. Let me see. Look at my.
While you're looking at that, Genesis Cabrera, he got touched up in his major league debut. This kid actually got shelled pretty hard. The Cardinals lost 11-4. to the Phillies. He pitched 3 2/3 innings. He did show flashes of some serious potential, but when he struck out the side in the second inning, and his fastball hit at 99 miles an hour, but his complete start versus the Phillies was overshadowed by plenty of mistakes. So
Yeah.
and I think you can't make mistakes versus this Reds lineup. So you got the line?
Yeah, well, it opened up at -127, in favor of the Reds here, and now it's down about a nickel to 122 at Pinnacle, which is not to plug them, but that's a good site. We get good line, and 126. So you're getting a little bit of a maybe some buy. I mean, St. Louis maybe gonna get some buyback on Cincinnati. Again, I'm gonna back Castillo in this spot, but again, I just have to see some confirmed lineups before I just dive in, because again, the Reds to me, great team as far as they have that ability to just score runs, but again, they're so inconsistent. They'll score like maybe 8-10 runs in a game, and then next game or following game, like no runs. It's just
I think they have the most shutouts. Like they've been shut out more than any other team in the league this year, mainly to the Pirates, if I remember correctly.
Yep.
Hey, so I agree. I'll take Castillo.
Castillo. All right, so we're going with the Newcastle. Okay, Castillo. Got you. I'm in. I'm all in. All right, good. Yeah. Right. I mean, and just one last note on that. To me, if I can always get a decent price with an ace pitcher going against a perceived public team like the Cardinals, I'll take it most of the time, because again, Cardinals just came off that big series. They swept the Cubbies, so they're all pumped up. To me, it's also a perfect letdown spot, in my opinion. So,
yeah, that's a great point. A very good point. Next game, we got a matchup of two awful teams here. You got the Los Angeles Dodgers taking on the Arizona Diamondbacks.
Wow, I don't know what to say on that one, but I have nothing but Astro bias. Here, I guess this is one of the things I put in my video. I have a little segment called Gun to Head, and I try to pick the Dodgers in every game. If you made me pick them, gun to head situation. Again, I'm going to roll with the Dodgers only because, like I said, they're hot right now. Ryu's pitching lights out, talking maybe Cy Young, talk, they say. But I again, Arizona's in a free fall, like we spoke earlier. I mean, if anything, the game they could have won was last night against our friend Bueller, and they're just not showing up. Again, I'm not going to go out and lay over 200, -200 with the Dodgers. But again, I just don't see them losing this game. But again, it's just being a Dodger fan again. So
I actually agree with you. I agree with you completely. You can't fade the Dodgers here. They're too hot, and Arizona is just playing awful lately. They got unlucky in the Rockies game or the Rockies series, but this is a whole another brand of club here in the Dodgers. So you have to take the Dodgers here or nothing at all. No, again, I agree. The juice is way too high, so I wouldn't take this. I'm not laying my own money on this game, but I'm definitely leaning towards the Dodgers here.
Yeah, and one note on this game also, because a lot of people do like playing the Dodger totals. They always ask me. I mean, pretty much I get asked everything. Do you like the Dodgers total? Do you like the over, the team total? And I always tell people, look, just check the lineups on the team total, because last night was a perfect example. Our friend and possible MVP candidate Cody Bellinger was out. People didn't even know they were running out to bet the Dodgers on the over, and Cody, one of their biggest components, was out. So I mean, again, they are deep, but that makes a difference. And like I said, the bookmakers know that. They put the line, and you're getting sucked into that. So again, just a note: be careful if you are. I'm leaning on this one. I'm leaning on the over, but like I said, I have to see more of the lineups a little bit later.
Yeah. Right now, you have the majority of the money on the under, so that's good for if you're on the over, because you don't want to be with the public. But the total is 9.5, though. That's pretty high considering the pitchers.
Yeah.
So.
Well, and again, it's just you have to look at why are they doing. Like I said, that's why I'm saying to you is like I have to see the lineups. Why are they giving me a 9.5 with Ryu on the mound?
Right.
Like it like they're screaming for under money is my opinion. So why are they? So again, it's just again a lot of things that you got to look for in when you're betting totals. Totals to me are very tricky. That's why I like betting them live, because again, if the total live goes down like yesterday with the Cubbies, it goes down to 5, 6, then I'm jumping on the over live as a better value. But again, you have to ask yourself, why is this line where it's at on the total? especially the Dodgers game where they could put up runs in bunches.
Right,
So
right. Makes sense.
just my 2 cents on the Dodgers, of course.
So we only got a couple games left. We got the Oakland A's taking on Griffin Canning and the Angels. Now Frankie Montas is going for Oakland. This guy, he's emerged as one of Oakland's aces, where nobody saw this guy coming. Where did this guy even come from?
Wait. Aces. What about Fires? My boy Fires. I mean, people he was one of your former Houston Astros, and now you've just kicked him
out of here
to the wind. What's going on?
We called him booty flakes here in Houston. We didn't want him here, so
Booty flakes.
I don't know how he throws those no hitters. I mean, it seems like he averages a no hitter every other year. But
remember this no hitter he just threw. Who was it against? Our favorite team that we just talked about, the Reds. So again, there's inconsistency. They got shut out on a no hitter.
Right. Yep.
Going back to Montas, yeah. I mean, I like his stuff. I like the kid. I mean. I don't understand the line again. Going back to another ones I don't understand. These guys just faced off against each other last week, and now the Angels are, more of a heavier favorite, if you want to call that. I think
it's because the Angels have been playing much better lately. So that's one of the reasons I believe.
Yeah. And we go back to, like I said, we're talking about dog. This is a dog that I might be playing also closer to game time. Just to give a little spoiler, I might be putting this one in my video as a, like I said, pick. But I do lean on the Oakland A's with Montas. Like I said, just another thing, I follow the Angels pretty good too. And I mean, I don't believe in the team. I mean, yeah, they're getting some wins, but to me, they're just not, let's put it this way. They're not an October team. They're not going to be in the playoffs.
Sure. No, of course not. But I faded Griffin Canning a couple of times this year. And I've been let down. Griffin Canning has beaten me the couple of times that I've went against him. It's hard for me to go against him just because of that. But I mean, Frankie Montas, this is actually going to be, I think, a decently well pitched game. Griffin Canning, he gave up 1 run over 3 hits, over 6 innings. The last time he went up against the A's. Now the A's, they rattled off 10 in a row, and now they've taken a couple steps back and. Yep. The Angels just got their ass kicked versus the Cubs, but before that, they had run off a couple games as well. So.
Yeah, well, if you remember, the Angels are the ones that broke the streak of Oakland streak last week. Oakland was on a 10-game winning streak. Right. What did Angels go in there? Go up to Oakland Coliseum, the home of my Raiders, which I want to point out. NFL's coming, so we gotta, think about that in the back of our minds. Even though we're just an MLB, NFL's always on my mind,
Sure, absolutely.
But getting back to that, Oakland, like I said, did get beat by the Angels. So, again, it's just, to me, it's just the line. Again, it's just all about line. It just seems a little fishy, this line again, But, again, I just I'll look at the lineups closer to game. But, it's not one, again, that I'm running to bet, but I'm going to look at.
Yeah, so I guess if I had to bet it, if you made me, my lean, I guess, would be...
Wait, gun to head? What are you going to bet?
Gun to head. I mean, this is kind of a coin flip, but I'm going to fade Griffin Canning again. Give me Oakland and, on the lean, not on an official bet.
All right, so we'll put you down. Okay, great. Okay, well, we're almost through, so what do you have next?
So we got two
Houston, Seattle, no line, but yeah, go ahead, sorry.
Yeah, no line on Astros versus Mariners, but... we don't even know who's pitching for the Mariners, but it doesn't matter. If you made me choose a thing, it's going to be the Astros here, even with Wade Miley on the bump, which has been one of their least impressive starters, and he's still 5-3 on the year. So give me the Astros here. So in this matchup.
Now, is that an actual analysis play or just a homer play? I mean, because I know you're wearing an Astros hat, so
it's more homer play. You already know. I typically don't even bet the Astros.
Yeah, anything, you actually fade them more. That. I mean, and you got some shit from that from people. Hey, you keep fading your team. And I'm like, wait a minute, you gotta fade them.
I look for opportunities to fade the public, and the Houston Astros. It's hard for me to even consider that they're a public team, considering how awful they've been in my whole life. But they are the real deal. They're in the top 3 as the best teams in the majors right now with the Dodgers and the Yankees. So they're definitely a top team here. So the public knows that, and but they've had injuries too. You got Springer out, you got Altuve out, you got Diaz out, Max Stassi's out. So like there's they keep rolling along, like, because their minor league system is so freaking jacked up. It's insane. They have major league starters sitting in AAA right now, just waiting to come up.
Yeah, no, I agree.
Oh,
Like I said, Houston is definitely would be the play, but I'm just I want to see. I mean, again, the line's not out, so we don't even know what it be. It might be a 200 by the time we finish this video. So who
if I,
knows?
if I had to guess, this line's going to open up at probably around minus 150, just because of Wade Miley. But I think that's decent value because the Mariners, they're in shambles. They're looking to trade off everybody over there.
Yeah,
There's been reports of the clubhouse not getting along, so the
yeah,
manager's more likely going to get fired. So
yeah,
that's usually what happens is when a team jumps off hot and heavy,
yeah,
like
yeah,
they did, and then they fall off. So
yeah, yeah. Regression's a mother, of all. But yeah, I agree. Like I said, but we'll see what the line comes out. What's your next game, sir?
all right, last game we got Phillies versus Padres.
Wow, visiting going back to the scene of the crime, as we could say. Yeah,
Yeah.
I felt the pain for and I'm going to shout out to Philly fan, guy on chat. He's a big Philly supporter. I felt bad that I kind of said, you know what, Philly should win this game, but again, you know, bad on me that it was one of the favorites, going in, and one of the dogs had to win. So in
Mhm.
this case, San Diego came out and pretty much just put a beat down on them. It was
Yeah,
pretty
it
ugly.
was a epic clutch grand slam by Manny Machado yesterday. Now in this game, you got Chris Paddock
Uh-oh.
versus Jared Eichhoff, or Eichhoff is how you say it, Jared Eichhoff. So yeah, so what do you see between these two guys?
Well, again, I'm gonna go back to the well, and I'm gonna. I mean, I guess call me glutton for punishment. I'm leaning towards Philly because at some point, I think Philly has to get it together. And Paddock, to me, even though he is the real deal, as you would say, because he's a Texas boy, so I guess that's
Mhm.
why you think he's the real deal. But no, he is a good pitcher. He's had his last two starts have not impressed me. I watched both games closely, which I watch a lot of MLB. And in New York, he gave up those two home runs early. So he
Mhm.
got shaken, he got rattled. So and he's a little
Yep.
emotional pitcher.
Yep.
Then the previous start, he got a little rattled by the Dodgers. So it seems to me, this is just my opinion, my 2 cents of watching a lot of, Dodgers, and in general baseball, is that Paddock to me has to prove he's a big time pitcher in the spotlight. Is the
Right.
spotlight too big? Now this again is not a spotlight, but against these big teams, I take that back. Philly again, if it was, it's just to me is like I'm not 100% sold on Paddock yet. So I mean I lean towards Philly, but again I don't like to go out and just like I said lay juice. But what do you
Right.
think?
Well, if I had to take this one, I probably lean the under here. Chris Paddock, he's played pretty well at home. He has a 1.42 ERA, 34% strikeout rate in his first 5 starts. So, but I agree. Now, so I said this the last time I took San Diego, which was versus New York. You know, does Chris Paddock, does he get shaken in big games like versus the Dodgers versus the Yankees, and then if he gets shelled early, he just loses it. He gets in his head, and he can't. He doesn't seem to. About his immaturity is getting to him. I think.
Yeah,
So I mean, he's got all the metrics. He's big. He's got that fastball. He's got the pitches, but he doesn't have the mental just yet. At least not completely. If I had to take a side here, I think I would lean the Phillies here. They're on that 5 game losing streak, but
and
um,
they're getting
I
plus money, so
yeah, but I also lean more than anything, more than likely the under here. So because I don't know if Philly doesn't get their bats moving and Chris Paddock does pitch like he typically does at home, then I think the under is a decent play. But anyway, that's all the games, Joe.
great, real great.
So
Did we touch them all? Did we touch them all?
yeah, we
Yeah.
touched them all.
Okay, good, good. All right. So I guess I going back to our play. So the dogs that just to recap, I guess what are the dogs that we're doing? Because again, little dogs have value. So what dogs are we kind of I guess doing a consensus on? What do we do? What do we agree on? I
That's a good
know
question.
I know Miami was one of your favorites. So
Yeah,
I
Miami, Kansas City. Um, let's see.
so okay, we'll put down Miami, Kansas City. Just like I said, just to give the audience a little bit of some meat
Yeah,
on some of these dogs. But because again, we go back to what we said at the beginning, and we always talk about not once this year in MLB have all favorites won or all dogs. There's always a
yeah,
balance. There's always so far, and it's going to always be because books
Hmm.
want that, the mead. They want the medium of balance.
Yeah.
So if favorites start winning a lot, you know, the dogs will catch up. So and by the end of the year, you'll have that 60-40 split or something like that, or maybe even closer to 50-50. So
Right.
again, there's going to be some dogs tonight. Which one will they be? That's the $1 million question.
That's the $1 million question. All right. So, hey, guys, make sure you check out Joe on his channel, Live Betting Sports Daily. It's a brand new channel, but it's going to be absolutely money. And if you like this kind of video, hey, hit that thumbs up button. And also, if you're not already subscribed, go ahead and hit the subscribe button to me as well, along with Joe. And this is the kind of content that you will be getting moving forward. It'll either be with Joe, maybe some other people. Joe will have some stuff going on his channel, so definitely make sure you check him out. Also, make sure you join the Discord. We have almost 800 members in there. Joe's in there. He goes by Bombay Joe. If you want to be part of, be with him while he's doing his live betting, he is in there on the voice chat. So definitely check that out. You will not be disappointed to be able to get into the Discord. Come over here to Instagram. I go by Sports Gambling Daily, and send me a direct message, and we'll get you in the group. Hey Joe, good job today, and I look forward to the Major League Baseball slate and talking to you in the Discord.
Great, Jared. One just last note is let's go Dodgers, win the World Series. That's it.
On that note, this video is done. I will.
The
Good luck.
Dodgers. The
Good
Dodgers.
luck. Good luck to you. Good luck to me. And good luck to everybody but the Dodgers. And I'll see y'all later.
All right. Take it easy, Jared.
Peace.
Bye bye.